like to go to the seventh order of the day, which is a motion standing in the name of distinguished Senator Henry HQT on the need to retain the name of Harold DAPPA BIRIYE House.
Distinguished and highly respected colleagues, I am Henry HSDickson, Senator representing Bayelsa West, and Mr. President, I rise this afternoon to move this motion on the need to retain the name Harold DAPPA BIRIYE, a departed elder statesman and nationalist, in the new headquarters of the NDDC. Mr. President and my dear colleagues, this Senate notes that the late elder statesman and nationalist Harold DAPPA BIRIYE, of blessed memory, coordinated the activities of the Rivers Conference of Chiefs and Peoples and participated actively in all the pre-independence conferences in Nigeria and abroad, particularly with respect to the Niger Delta issues, the 1957-58 Constitutional Conference, which led to the appointment of the Henry Willings Commission of Inquiry and the report that followed. This Senate also notes that he later formed and led the Niger Delta Congress, NDC, a political party of the Niger Delta people, on whose platform another eminent statesman, nationalist, elder statesman, now late, His Excellency Senator Melford Okilo, former governor, former minister, former senator, was elected on that platform to serve on the first parliament of our country, and he became parliamentary secretary as a result of the alliance between the NDC and the NPC. This Senate also observes that his party, the NDC, was in alliance with the NPC and collaborated with his contemporaries, his friends and allies, like the first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa, Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Sardauna Ahmadu Bello, blessed memory, and his colleagues in the pre-independence struggles. The Senate notes that the late Harold DAPPA BIRIYE, all through his adult life, until his death at a ripe old age, fought for the people of Nigeria, all Nigerians, and was a quintessential Nigerian who lived a good life promoting national unity, understanding, bridge building, and cohesion. The Senate is aware that the late DAPPA BIRIYE collaborated with other leaders of Nigeria and all those who became heads of state during the military, General Yakubu Gowon, and others, in managing the issues and agitations of the Niger Delta leading to the creation of River State, and also led the negotiations that led to the release and pardon of the late Isaac Adakaboro, who was made to join the Nigerian military and died fighting to keep Nigeria one. The Senate notes that he served also as an advisor in the cabinet of the new government when he led and negotiated with his friends and allies to create River State. He served in the government, the new government of then JTSPIF, to stabilize the region and the state. Subsequently, he also kept collaborating, not only with the head of state, General Gowon, but also all his successors, General Murtala Mohammed, and formed close relationship with all of them until the return of our country to democracy, 1998-1999. The Senate notes that until his death, Harold DAPPA BIRIYE was the founding chairman of the Board of Trustees of the John National Congress, the Apex Pan-Ijaw cultural body, which I had the honor and privilege of serving as the national legal advisor. It was after his death that Pa Clark, who was his deputy, took over and still remains as the chairman of the Board of Trustees. The Senate is aware that through the Henry Willings Commission, which he fought for and pushed, the Commission recommended the establishment of the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority and declared the Niger Delta region as a special development region. And that led to the formation of the first Basin Development Authority, and then subsequently, that model was replicated across the country. This Senate notes that he also offered advice to President Olusegun Obasanjo upon the return of our country to democratic rule, and led several elders to provide solutions on the way forward. And that was why the President Obasanjo and his colleagues in government at that time, with the active support of the National Assembly, for which we are grateful, created the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC. This Senate notes that following the establishment of the NDDC, the federal government of Nigeria, the management of the newly established NDDC, with the active support of the government of Rivers State, led at the time by His Excellency Sir Dr. Peter Odili, who himself was one of the several political proteges of the late Harold Dappa Biriye, decided to name the NDDC temporary headquarters building donated by the government of Rivers State, an act that we all in the region appreciate. They named that building after Harold Dappa Biriye. The building, the NDDC Permanent Temporary Secretariat, up until recently, was known as the Harold Dappa Biriye House. That was an honor bestowed on him, which he appreciated before his demise. I knew because I was one of his young advisors, legal advisors and secretaries towards the end of his life. This Senate observes that the NDDC, after 20 years of existence, has now commissioned, last year, commissioned its permanent headquarters, but observes with dismay, that while the NDDC commissioned and has moved its personnel and activities into its permanent headquarters, which is commendable, it has somehow refused, neglected, or failed to transfer the name Harold Dappa Biriye, earlier approved, that adorned the temporary secretariat, temporary headquarters. That should have been done even before the commissioning. That should have been done even before the commission. By not doing that, unless this Senate intervenes, it's as if the honor that was bestowed on one of our founding fathers and leaders has been jettisoned just because the man is dead, and we shouldn't let that happen. The Senate also observes that, well, unlike some of his colleagues and contemporaries who fought and worked for our country's independence and laying its foundation, whose names and images adorn our national currency and also strategic national assets, Harold Dappa Biriye has none in his name other than this. When I was governor, because I was honored and privileged to be mentored by him on how you can, in a multinational country, raise issues, fight for unity, but work for the good of all, including ourselves. He taught us that. I built and named the International Conference Center, which bears his name in Bayelsa. So, accordingly, Mr. President and my dear colleagues, I most respectfully and passionately urge that this Senate should resolve to direct the Secretary to Government of the Federation and the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to direct and ensure the retention, because the honor had already been done and approved, retention of the name Harold Dappa Biriye House to be affixed in the NDDC permanent headquarters now, without further delay. Mr. President and my dear distinguished colleagues, I so move. And thank you for the order.
We are a separate arm of government. In my judgment, we can urge, because this is something that we don't have direct control. If you say direct, then it means like by the evening they should host the name there. But we can urge and maybe continue to chase it, hoping that somebody takes immediate action. Are you okay with that? Okay. 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 Distinguished Senator Degi Emery Biyabarakuma.
I rise to second this motion moved by my brother, Senator Henry HSDickson, with pleasure, being familiar with the historical background that he had laid. Mr. President, indeed, DAPPA BIRIYE was a great son, not only of Niger Delta, but of this country. He fought for the independence of Nigeria, and until his demise, he stood to defend what is good and what is right in the interest of the people of this great nation. Mr. President, for his contribution towards the development of man and society, particularly that part of this country, I feel that this is the least that we can do, the federal government can do, to immortalize the name of this great son of Nigeria. It is on that note that, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to appeal to all of us to support this motion. Thank you.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to direct and ensure the retention of the name Harold DAPPA BIRIYE House in the NDDC permanent headquarters forthwith without further delay. Are we to talk to the Secretary to Government and Minister or the Executive? Yes. Because this is something that needs to be approved maybe by the Federal Executive Council or something. So the Secretary to Government cannot do it. Why this motion is here in the first place is because it was there in the temporary building. The new building has been commissioned and is under usage, and the transfer of the name has not been done. So it's either someone has forgotten to bring the name, or maybe it's in confused state of mind whether it should be another name. And I think that's the essence of this. So it's supposed to be the entire government that is going to decide. Okay, Senator Gabriel Suswam.
Yeah, this has been approved already. Approval was given. That was why in the first place, the name was put on the temporary building. So it is no longer a question of approval. It is the person who is directly in charge to move that same name and fix it on the new building. If there was no approval by the federal government, there wouldn't have been that name in the temporary building. So I don't think it's approval. So I think the appropriate person to be directed will be the minister, not even the secretary to the federal government. It's the minister, because he's directly in charge. And so let him move what has already been approved, what has been there. Probably they forgot, or nobody actually took cognizance of it. So it's not a question of approval now. The federal government, because government is a continuum, so if another government had approved it, there will be no basis for which the current executive will also go ahead and say we are doing another approval. Approval has been given, it's just to transfer that name to the new structure. I think so. So I think Sani Musa.
When we are governors, that was when that thing was done. It was President Obasanjo that approved. The Federal Executive Council approved that name. I can remember Odile was mandated in a meeting here in Abuja to go and perform that duty. Governor Odile. And this is the fact. That was when it was done.
Distinguished colleagues, first of all, I want to dispute what the chief whip has said. That building was donated with that name by the Rivers State government. And that is why it is there. There is no approval, and I stand to be corrected. Mr. President, the NDDC Act gives the power of NDDC to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is the person known by law, and that is the person that communicates to us. So if there is going to be any urge, it is to be the President or the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's my position.
Well, So I will advise that we should have a prayer that will ensure that this desire for us to have the building, NDDC building, the new building named appropriately happen. So let's not do half measure. If we know the information, or if what the chairman NDDC said is the correct situation, then I think we have to toe his line. That is to assume that there was no approval before, or the approval was for the old building. I don't know. Okay. So, let's not turn it into, let's be practical about this.
Mr. President, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, you see, we lawyers, we say it is better to err on the side of caution. If our objective is to get the building, it be question of authority, which even on this floor we are not already sure of. It is better the prayer is couched in such a way that it will be wider enough to get all necessary aspects of the executive to urge them to make that to happen. I think that will be better, to err on the side of caution.
So if they need the presidential approval, the president can give an approval. So I agree with you, we shouldn't just be too economical with ours. And this is not law court, please.
We are addressing it. If we are addressing something here, we must know exactly where we can go and monitor. If we say executive, who are you going to monitor it when we have given send the letter to them? So I think saying that when you say federal government, letters are sent to either the SGF or to the president. But when you say executive, if we go to a parastatal, it's an executive arm of government. So I think it's too general to say executive. Let us be specific. Either we say there's nothing wrong in us urging the president to direct the SGF to do the appropriate thing.
Okay, let's have the proper distance so that
As the person supervising and overseeing the affairs of that place. And so if we are making any urge, it is to Mr. President. Urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to direct, because in any case, if you say executive, he's the executive.
already moved it. So, distinguished colleagues, the prayer has been amended by the chairman NDDC, Senator Peter Obushi, that we urge the president to direct the secretary to government, the appropriate to urge the president to direct the appropriate authority to name the new NDDC building after Harold DAPPA BIRIYE. Is that okay? So those in favor of the one and only prayer as amended, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.